time as per SPPU guidelines, and I welcome you all for this particular session. This particular session is on desk research and field project organized by Rajgad Institute of Management Research and Development. Okay, so very first thing for the desk research is you have to form groups, and as per the SPPU guidelines, you have to form groups of 3 to 5 students. Ensure that all group members actively participate in research and report presentation, because entirely as a group you have to give a presentation and you will be judged by your contribution in that particular research. So after group formation, I think majority of the students they have already formed their group. Next part is you have to select your industry, that is industry selection. So select your industry for analysis. You can select variety of industries. We have given you the list starting from automobile sector, FMCG sector, IT, banking and insurance, food processing industry, telecom sector, service sectors and so on. Ensure that whatever industry you are going to select, that industry should have enough available data for analysis. It should not be like that you have selected some industry and after few days you will realize that you are not getting any type of data. In that case you have to change the industry or sector, and again you have to rework. So before starting of your desk research, ensure that the industry data is available. Then you have to seek guidance and approval from your faculty before proceeding. So don't select sector blindly. After selection, one of your group member or your entire group should contact your project guide or desk research guide and take approval that I am going to continue with telecom sector. Is it okay if your guide give you green signal? Then only proceed further. So this is the industry selection part. Then in the same sector, remember that you have to do a individual company assignment as well. Like each student must choose one company within the selected industries or sector for a detailed and independent study. In the chapter scheme, I will explain this part in more detail. Also, you have to ensure that within the same group, there should not be overlapping of the company selection. What I mean to say, few of the first chapters will be same for entire group, but the last few chapters will be based on a single company. Imagine that a particular group of students they are selecting telecom sector. Now in telecom sector there is BSNL, Reliance Jio, Idea Vodafone, Airtel. So four players are there. So if the group is consist of 5 students, then in this particular sector like telecom sector, there are opportunities for only 4 selection. So if the group consists of 3 or 4 students, then only they are supposed to choose the telecom sector. Otherwise, what will happen for a particular student? No company will be left for further investigation. Suppose you are choosing food processing industry. Okay, so in a particular group, it should not happen that 2 students are doing individual assignment on Mapro. Mapro is food processing industry. So one student should select Mapro, another student can select Mala, a third student can select another industry, food processing industry, and so on. So you have to ensure that no overlapping of company selection within the same group. Now, how we are going to proceed further? Very simple 3 steps. First, you have to do industry analysis. Then you have to do individual company analysis. And third step is you have to compile or edit data and form a project report. So only 3 steps: industry research, company analysis, and compilation of data, and your desk research will be completed. Next part is report writing. So you have to prepare a structured report as per the format and chapter scheme. Now we have provided you template for desk research. You just have to fill in the blanks and you have to complete the entire thing. Such type of school feeding is not given by any other institute. We are only giving you the entire template, presentations, and so much efforts the faculty and institute is working on you. In the report writing, you have to include insights supported by the data, some graphs, charts, and whatever which is applicable. Suppose in a particular industry process you are going to study. So the process design chart you have to include. For this purpose, you have to constantly talk with your project guide. He or she will help you. Again, at the time of report writing, you have to ensure that your findings for the section are well structured and written very concisely. Then, after project completion report, last step is you have to present that report in front of faculty members. That faculty members will consist of internal as well as external faculties. So you have to be ready with your findings to the class or faculties. Divide the presentation, PPT presentation, like industry analysis and individual section. Then you have to highlight the key insights, key findings, recommendation, and suppose you find something unique about that, you have to present that in your presentation. Now, what type of presentations are allowed? I am giving you a PPT presentation that is called as traditional slide deck presentation. Such type of PowerPoint presentation in the classroom that is allowed. Apart from that, university given you plenty of choices. You can go for infographics, you can do a video presentation, you can present a paper, research paper, you can prepare a poster and you can prepare that poster presentation in front of class. You can give a webinar or online presentation, storytelling type of presentation, like reporters are giving a review on some a particular industry. Such type of presentation also you can give, or TED style, a TED talk type of presentation also you can do. Choose unique type of presentation so that you will get good marks. Choice of presentation will be based on the group choice and their group faculty that is assigned to that particular group, that is your project guide. So you have to concern which type of presentation you are going to do, and if the faculty member allows you, then only you can choose the type of presentation. Finally, you have to submit that. So you have to submit a hard black bound copy or a spiral copy as per the instructions given by the guide. Apart from the black bound, you have to submit a final report as a typed document in PDF format by the given by the time of given deadline. This submission deadline is 15th of March, but we are extending it to last time we are extending it to 30th of March. After 30th of March, we are not going to accept any type of reports, and the student will be marked absent or fail. You have to remember, collaboration between the team members is critical, as well as coordination between you and faculty members are crucial. Ensure that whatever work you are doing is original work. You have to follow the timelines, and you have to follow the formatting and template given by the institute. Evaluation criteria: depth of the research and what type of analysis you are doing, that carries 30% of the marks. Structure and clarity of the report that you are going to submit, 20% of the marks. Quality of insights and what type of recommendations you are coming with, 20% of the mark. And lastly, whatever you are presenting, your presentation and your teamwork will carry 30% of the marks. So this will be your evaluation criteria. Now, few of the students, we have, as we have given the entire report and template and everything in PDF format, but still few of the students, they are having doubt that what exactly to write in the chapters. So there will be initial pages. So initial pages template is given to you. There is title page. Then after that you have to do write acknowledgement. So you can write down acknowledgement at the end of the your project, that thank you, director sir, thank you your project guide, thank you your team members, or whatever. If you want to thank your friends and family members, such type of acknowledgement you have to write on your own. Then declaration format, declaration by students and declaration by your guide that this work is original, so that certification is there. Then you have to write down executive summary. You have to write down executive summary at the end of the desk research. Don't like go like first of all you are going to write down the executive summary. How you are going to write the executive summary when your project is not ready? Summary is written at the end of the project, and after that table of contents are also given to you. So these initial pages, all pages are given to you in the form of template. You have to just do filling the blanks except the executive summary. So this is your table of content. Chapter number 1 is introduction, chapter number 2 industry analysis, and so on. And chapter number 8 conclusion and recommendation. I am not skipping in between chapters. I will just elaborate each and every chapter one by one in my next slides. So this is the table of contents. Okay, so we will go one by one. Chapter number 1. Chapter number 1 is introduction chapter. This chapter sets the foundation of the study. It should be clear, to the point, and well structured. For this chapter, you need help from your project guide. So, first is objective of the study. Clearly state why this research is being conducted. So, to analyze the industry trends, to understand the management strategies, or to understand or to know the financial performance of the industry, to evaluate the recent developments, or to understand the external factors impacting the industry, what type of objectives you will be carrying out. So you have to write down objective of the desk research with the help of faculty members, and faculty members are also instructed to guide students in writing objectives of the research. Next is scope of the study. So here you have to define boundaries of your research, which type of industries are covered, key areas like if you are going to cover market structure or management or financials or regulations, etc. And what is the geographical scope of your industry, that is whether the studies at national level, regional level, local level, or global level. So here also you have to take some help from the teaching faculty. Third, research methodology. Mention how data is collected here. So in the desk research, as per the university guideline, it will be based on secondary research resources. So company website, annual reports, industry reports, government data, research articles, news channels, YouTube videos, podcast, and online research papers or thesis available. Such type of secondary research sources will be used. And what type of tools you are going to use, like SWOT analysis, ratio analysis, comparative analysis, etc. You have to ensure that no surveys and no interviews, and not a single type of primary data is needed in desk research. Whatever the desk research is will consist of secondary resources only as per the university guidelines. Here also you can discuss research methodology with your project guide. Lastly, industry selected, that is chapter number 1, rationale of the selection. So list down the industry that you have selected, explain in few words why you have chosen that industry, like the industry is having growth potential, or some recent developments are there in the industry, what are the policy changes, importance of the industry in the economy, etc. Justify why they are distinct from the other industries. So, in short, objective of this study half page, scope half page, research methodology half to one page, and industry rationale half to one page. So, chapter number 1 consists of only 2 to 3 pages. And here in chapter number 1, you have to take help from the teaching faculty. Now, chapter number 2, that is industry analysis. Now, you can see there are 10 points, but your as per the depth of your study, you can skip 2 3 points here. These are merely given as the guidelines. If your sector, like 2.4 market shares of top 5 and bottom 5 companies, like I have given the example of telecom sector. In the telecom sector, if there are only 4 companies, then you cannot write down top 4 and top 5 and top bottom 5 companies. So depending on your industry, depending on depth of your sector, players in the sector, you can modify the industry analysis. Okay, so these are merely a guidelines. Again, you can talk with your project guide, and you can modify few of the points. So this chapter should be fact based. These facts and data from the industry reports, company websites, graphs and tables will be impactful in this particular chapter. So first, nature of the industry. So here define the industry and what that industry does, like automobile sector, pharmaceutical, e-commerce, etc. What is the industry size? What are the growth rates and what are the key trends in the industry? And what are the government regulations affecting that industry? So you can write down half to one page in the nature of the industry. Then players in this industry. So list the major companies operating in that industry. Categorize them like multinational companies, domestic players, or startups, etc. So who are the players in that company? So half to one page. Nature of the competition. So you know what type of market that is. You have to analyze whether that is monopoly, oligopoly, perfect competition, or monopolistic competition. So identify and write down about that. And how competitive that industry, like uh, high entry barriers or low entry barriers, or there are price wars or brand loyalty wars, etc. So what type of competition is there in the in the sector that you have to mention, again half to one page. Then you have to just list or identify top 5 and top bottom 5 companies based on the market share, and you can here represent that data using percentage or graph, again half to one page. Then 2.5, classification of players, like who are the market leaders, who are the market challengers, followers and nichers. So leaders, they are dominating the firms like Tata in the automobile sector. Challengers, like the companies who are taking or overtaking the leaders like Ola in e-vehicles. Then followers, like small company, they just follow the market trends or industry trends. Or market niches, the companies catering to specific market segment only. Like if you just see luxury electronic vehicles, then Tesla is only the niche. So you have to identify the market players and you have to list down them, again half to one page. Then 2.6, positioning and differentiation strategies. How do companies differentiate themselves? Like you can draw a comparative table in terms of price, quality, technology, customer service, market share, and so on. Then 2.7, branding strategies and pricing policies. What type of branding strategies or promotional strategies or branding strategy, marketing strategy that sector adopts. So here the companies like build their own brand name or luxury or mass market or eco-friendly products, such type of things like brand strategies. Or pricing strategies, they are using penetration pricing or premium pricing or cost plus pricing, etc. Then capacity analysis, again, total production capacity of the industry and their utilization rate, future expansion plans like loop plants or increase in production. So, what is the current scenario and what is the future or planned scenario? Then demand and supply analysis, whether like global, national, or regional. So, what are the demand drivers? Factors affecting the demand, like population growth or income level, or government policies. Whether there are some supply constraints like raw material shortage, then logistic issues, import export policies, etc. Or whether the patterns are like global versus national versus regional demands of patterns. Lastly, disruptive incremental innovations. So incremental innovations are like small improvements like smartphone or some camera upgrades in the smartphones. And disruptive innovations are industry changing technologies. Like automobile sector was fully covered by the e-vehicles, or they are replacing the petrol cars. Okay, so there are two type of innovations. So what your industry, like 5G came. Okay, 5G came, and VoLTE network that was launched by Reliance Jio, and entire market was like showered, and Tata Docomo, Aircel, such type of giant players were removed from the industry. So what is descriptive innovation and incremental innovation in a sector, you can mention. So this is about chapter number 2. I will mention again that if your sector does not have demand supply analysis, or your sector does not have any type of disruptive or incremental innovations, you can skip that point. Chapter number 3, promoters and management ethos. So here, this chapter requires some factual data plus analysis using the company reports, news, and industry research. You have to keep it concise and to the point. Okay. So first is background of the promoters. Again, you can write down top five and bottom five players. So here you have to write down who are the owners of the company, like whether it is family business, government, multinational companies, or startups, etc. What is the history and key milestones, and whether like they believe in expansion strategy or strategy industry influences. That you have to include in 3.1. 3.2, what is the management philosophy? You can go on company's website and you can write down company's vision, mission, core values. If you just visit to our institute or website of the institute, we also do have vision, mission, and core values. So each and every multinational company, normal company, small scale company, large scale company, all are having their vision, mission, and they communicate through their vision and mission, what type of business they are and what type of business they want to do. So vision, mission, and core value statements are to attract stakeholders. Okay, that's why we are including that. What is the leadership style? Whether they are risk taker or conservatives, innovative, innovation driven or traditional type of things they are applying. And what is the employee and approach and customer setting approach, whether they are applying or not. So that you can include in management philosophy. Again, you can skip one or two parts here depending on the depth of your research. Then third is profiles and key management personals. Brief here about chairman, CEO, key executives, their career highlights, etc., their leadership style, their major contribution, compare top versus bottom performance, etc. Then few of the companies are adopting CSR policies and corporate governance initiatives. So social responsibility projects, if the sector is conducting, like educational, health, rural development, etc. Majority of the companies are doing that, IT companies and telecom companies, etc. Whether they are having some ethical business practices, transparencies, government structure and governance structure and all. If there are any past frauds or legal issues, if any, then you can mention in few lines. Lastly, environmental and social inclusive factors. So steps taken towards the sustainability like green energy, waste management, etc. And social inclusive policies like women empowerment, diversity, and fair wages. So this is about third chapter. Each and every point can be half to one page depending on the depth. So up till now, first chapter 2 to 3 pages, second chapter approximately 4 to 5 pages, third chapter 3 to 4 pages. Then external environmental analysis, that is your chapter number 4. Regulatory bodies and policies. Identify the government bodies like SEBI, RBI, TRI regulating the industry. If so, then explain how these regulations impact the business organization, whether that regulation is positive or negative. Then 4.2, some national or global issues impacting that organization is are there or not. Then government initiatives to promote that industry. So mention the government policies, subsidies, tax benefits supporting that industry. Discuss how these initiatives affect the growth and competition. Then some environmental issues and legal violations, if any. So hardly 2 to 3 pages, and this chapter will be completed. Okay. Then chapter number 5, financial analysis. Uh, it is advisable to go for only few, like top five or bottom five or top two, bottom two. You can decide depending on the depth. So here, analyze the revenue growth, profit trends, margin changes of the top and bottom players over the past 5 years. You can take 5 years. Identify the pattern, like increasing in sale or declining in profit, or whether that is stable growth. So you can plot a graph and you can interpret the data. It is very easy here. Then this is about 5.1. Then seek players or turnaround strategies if there are. Identify the companies facing financial distress like loss making or struggling firms. Mention reasons for their decline. like high cost or high market competition, cutthroat market competition, or regulatory fines, etc. You can discuss turnaround strategies like reconstructing or cost cutting or mergers, acquisitions, or government assistance, etc. 5.3, key cost factors. So you have to identify major cost components affecting the profitability, like raw materials, labor, logistics, R&D, marketing, etc. Or compare the cost structures among the companies to highlight competitive advantages or competitive inefficiencies. Then lastly, ratio analysis. You can take help from the finance faculties for that. So you can identify the ratios, gross profit margin for profitability of core businesses, or you can go for net profit margin, overall profitability after expenses to calculate. Then you can go for current ratio to identify liquidity and short-term financial health of the organizations, debt to equity ratio, financial stability and risk, and return on equity ratio for profitability from the stakeholder investment. So depending on the data, you can choose the ratio analysis. You can include five ratios, or you can skip one or two. So here focus on financial trends, major cost factors, and key performance indicators for the industry. Chapter number 6, what are the recent developments in that industry? So first is impact of fiscal and exim policies. So analyze how the recent fiscal policies like taxation, government spending, subsidies have influenced the industry. Examine the latest exim, like import export regulation policies for that industry. Then you can identify any policy changes that benefited or challenged the industry. That is 6.1. Again, half to one page, each and every point you can write. Suppose if there are any key alliances like we are having with Idea and Vodafone. Okay, so if there is key alliances or mergers or acquisitions happened in that industry during few years, last 5 years or so on. So list the major alliances, mergers, acquisitions in the industry over the last few years. Discuss how these deals affected their market share, competition, and profitability. In telecom industry, you can nicely elaborate. Like Idea and Vodafone, they are like on the verge of exit, but because of their merger, they both survive. So such type of inputs with the support of data you can highlight here, or highlight any failed merger or regulation challenges in your particular sector. Then 6.3, technological developments and labor issues, if any. So identify new technologies adopted by the industries like AI, blockchain, automation, etc. Discuss the impact on production, competition, market share, and efficiency. Mention any labor unrest, strikes, or wages related issues among the companies. So that is optional. If there are any issues, you can mention or you can skip. Lastly, emerging entrepreneurs and corporate frauds in that organization or industry, you can write down. So identify first generation entrepreneurs. At least you will understand what is first generation entrepreneurs are and what are the business owners are. Entering to the industry and their contribution. Discuss corporate frauds like legal battles and leadership disputes affecting the key players. So moral of the story in this particular chapter, focus on the recent industry changes, major business moves, and future trends in the market. Now, up till now, chapter number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those can be made in groups. Like if you are having three students, first two chapters will be made by A student, third and fourth will be made by B student, and fifth and sixth can be made by C student. So three students can divide the chapters. Okay, they can prepare their chapters 4 5 pages, 4 5 pages, and they can combine their chapters. So up till chapter number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is combined activity. Few of the students are asking that our group members, if they are working on the project, then our chapter number 1 to 6 will be exactly identical. Is that okay? Yes, that will be absolutely fine. Because this is a group project, your first few chapters will bound to have exactly same data. Now here from 7 chapter onwards, there will be slight changes. So this chapter number 7, you have to write on your own. So this is individual company analysis. So you are going to select a particular company like Mapro or Reliance Geo, or suppose Infosys in IT sector, and so on. And you have to write down this 7 chapter on your own. So this is individual assignment. So overview of the company. Here you can write down brief history, founding year of the company, founders, headquarters. Where you will get this information? You will definitely get this information on the company website. So what type of business model they are operating, what are their core products, what are their core services offering, whether they are presence in a global market or national or local market, the key markets they serve. So you can write down in overview. 7.2, strategic position in the industry. Whether does the company stand compared to the competitors? So whether they are leader, challenger, follower, niche. Then your SWOT analysis of the company: strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. एक second, हंसिका पाणी देगा मला. Then competitive advantages. Then what is the USP, market share, and brand value that you can include in 7.2. 7.3, key financial data and trends. Here you can write down revenue, profit, margins over the last few years. You can take 3 to 5 years data. You can identify growth trends, investments, funding, debt structure, etc. You can list down any major financial challenges or successes that company is facing in 7.3. 7.4, innovations and differentiation strategy. New technologies adopted, some patents and unique processes, if any. Then you can include research and development investments, then impact of that on new product development, marketing innovations if they are adopting, differentiation from the competitors if they are adopting, that you can include. Definitely you will find this data. Innovation and differentiation strategy you will definitely find for the organization. Then lastly, online presence and business functions. So websites, e-commerce, so digital marketing strategies, social media impact. Most of the companies, 99% they are having their social media accounts, and customer engagement tactics. How digitalized has improved their business operation, that you can include. So online presence and business functions you can include in chapter number 7. This chapters provides a deep dive into that selected company, focusing on its financial health, competitive standing, and innovation strategy. So last chapter, that is conclusion and recommendation. Again, this will be unique. Few of the parts, like if you are concluding or recommending on the basis of first 6 chapter, then that part will be same. But this should be unique in terms of 7 chapters. So 8.1, you have to summarize the key insights, major findings from the previous chapters, highlight the industry trends, their financial performance, regulatory impact, and competitive landscape. You can recap the key challenges and opportunities in the industry. So this will be the summary version of your previous chapters. Then some recommendation from the industry, policy suggestions for the regulatory and government bodies, industry-wide improvements in operations, technology adoption, and sustainability, future growth strategy if you are going to suggest. So in short, this chapter will be written by a student after compiling chapter number 1 and 7, then read all the chapter, and after that you just discuss with your faculty members. So chapter number 1 you have to write along with your faculties. Similarly, you can discuss within your group and you can discuss with your teaching faculty. Okay, only if I think 15 to 20 minutes of brainstorm sessions are required. Okay, within that 10 to 15 minutes with your teaching staff, you no need to go for like come for the entire day and all that. And nowadays you can have various facilities. You can have a Google Meet with your teaching staff and your students. You can form your WhatsApp groups. Okay, you can do a video call. So remotely also you can work if you want to work. So no need to come to the college for this purpose. Okay, you can coordinate with yourself, but strictly within the time of 10 to 5 only. Last part, recommendation for the individual companies. Here again, the part will be unique for each and every student, because this will be based on chapter number 7. Specific strategies for different type of players like leaders, challengers, etc. Improvements in branding, financial management, and digital transformation, etc. Whether there is any scope for market expansion and all. Innovation strategies to stay competitive in the evolving market that you can also suggest to the organization. So this chapter summarize all the research insights and provides actionable recommendation for the industry growth and company success. Then after this, you have to list down the resources, like few of the things you are going to adopt or you have to copy, you have to modify, or you are understanding and rewriting in your own words. Okay, so you have to list the sources from where you have taken that data. So you have to list like journals, reports, websites, books, etc. You have to do the proper citation in report in APA format. How to write in APA format? I will prepare a video and I will share that link to you. You can watch that in a separate, because this will take time. How to write in a APA format. So references, or you can ask your faculty members, they know how to write in APA format, they will guide you. So you have to write down in APA format. You have to list out the references. Then appendices, if additional information apart from this, if you want to give, like additional data, some charts, tables used for data analysis, then you can include, or you can skip. So that depends on you. So if you have any, I'm like done with my presentation for desk research. I will continue